What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Sorare video. Today I'm starting a new series called Beat the Cap, which is where I go up against different content creators every week and build a £50 limited team to try and beat the cap. We'll see who gets the highest score and keep track of the scores across the game weeks and see how we get on along the season. So if you enjoy this video, make sure you like, subscribe and comment which content creator you want to see me up against next. Right, so we're here with Salah today.
What's up, guys?
It's the first contestant on the new Beat the Cap series that I'm starting. I briefly explained what this is in the intro, so we'll basically get straight into the players. We've both built our teams already. I've decided to stick with the MLS today. I've got a full MLS team because it's the biggest league that's ongoing at the minute, and we're starting off with my goalkeeper, Brad Guzan. He's currently £13.46 and he's got a pretty low L15 of 45. So as you can see, since he's come back from injury, he hasn't been in the greatest form, but it's just due to Atlanta being quite poor defensively, and I didn't want to spend too much of my budget on my goalkeeper. It was obviously going to be the most expensive position, but I kind of wanted to reserve money for a couple of other good players I've got. We've seen that he can do it. He's got a 96 in there. I'm sure if we look at his all-time, yeah, there's a lot of good scores in there. So he can do it, and he's really cheap. I actually don't mind the fixture. Montreal are really good at home, so it's not the greatest. But I don't, like, even when they do win, they don't seem to score many, so I'm hoping Guzan can keep me a clean sheet there. Who have you got, Salah?
Me, on my side, I got Steve Clark, goalkeeper from Houston Dynamo. The main reason I got him is because Houston at home are just really good defensively. He has gotten 7 of his 8 clean sheets at home this season, which is a really nice upside there. And as you guys can see, he also scores pretty high for a goalkeeper wise. He can score the 80s and the 90s, which is really nice. Same as you, it was my my biggest purchase in this team, of course, because the goalkeepers are always going to be the most expensive, for around €24 actually, with an L15 of 49. But yeah, against the Sporting Kansas at home, I expect him to keep a clean sheet and do really well.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent fixture, and Houston have been so good at home recently, so it's a good choice. We'll take a look at the defenders now.
Who did you get for your defenders then?
So my first defender, well, my only defender actually, is Derek Williams. He only cost me $2.29. His L15 is quite high. It's 50 at the minute, because he's had a couple of really good fixtures, a couple of really good matches recently. A couple of decisives there, one against Cincinnati and one against Salt Lake. And his last 7 game weeks have been really good scores, and the fixture that he's got coming up is just amazing. Inter Miami are probably the worst team in the MLS right now, until all these new signings come, and they're probably going to be really good. But at the minute, this is a fixture that can be targeted, and they're at home also, so I'm really hoping DC can keep a clean sheet, because I don't think they're a bad team. They haven't been in the greatest form themselves, but keeping a clean sheet at home against Cincinnati, are one of the better teams, if not the best team in the league, shows they can do it, so I'm hoping they can do it against Inter Miami as well.
Yeah, a funny thing is, I actually looked at Williams as well, because of course he was really cheap, and he is pretty in form at the moment. And of course with the fixture against Inter Miami, it was one of my options, but I didn't go with him. I went with Franco Escobar myself, defender from Houston Dynamo. So I went with a defensive stack here, and this guy, same as Steve Clark, is just really good at home, scoring 66.7 on average when starting for Houston in home games, which is just amazing. And this guy can peak incredibly well with 2 scores above 90, with a few games with 50 AA as well, which is just amazing. And yeah, Houston at home just seem to be incredibly strong, with only 1 defeat against Sounders. So yeah, I just expect a lot from them, and if Houston can keep a clean sheet, I should be looking good as well with the Cap240 teams and scores.
Yeah, he's a really good pickup actually. He's pretty cheap. I've actually just recently bought his limited myself, so I know how good he can be. Hopefully he does well for you this week, because he's going to be in my team likely. So
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see, but the big upside with this guy is just his amazing spikes. Like having a defender who knows how to get like 80s and 90s is just really nice upside, and especially for his price, only like £2.50 if I'm not mistaken, it's just solid, and especially his rare for like 35 to like £40 is. I mean, it should be a definitely a pickup in anyone's teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a really good price point at the minute. But anyway, we'll move on to the midfielders. So my midfielder is Chris Durkin. As you can see, he's only £4 at the minute, and he's got a really low L15, so I think he's going to be a really good option.
That is really funny that you just said that name, because I got Chris Durkin as well. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I think we really had the same plan here with targeting that fixture against Inter Miami.
Yeah.
I think it's a really smart pickup as well. But I'm gonna let you finish your story, of course.
Yeah. I think just when you look at his scores, he's kind of like a really good cap player, because he's got these really low like 19s, 24s and stuff like that, but recently he's been hitting a lot higher peaks, 66, 60, 78, 87. A couple of them have come from decisives, but he's also had a couple of really good AA games. So it shows he's got like both sides to his game. He can get points through decisives, but also get them from his AA score, which I think is exactly what you need from a cap player. All he's got to do is pair a decisive with one of these crazy AAs, and he can hit a 100-pointer. So with a fixture like this, I think he's got to be in the team.
I mean, I have to say that was exactly my thought process as well. I've seen that he can hit decisives. I've seen that he knows how to get some crazy AA score, and I was like, against Inter Miami, the best way to combine them to get like an 80+ score at least. And I mean, it's a very cheap pickup, £4, and the guy is in form with 4 green scores in the last 6. So against Inter Miami, the worst team in the league, I actually did my research here, and I'm pretty sure they've only gotten 1 point the past 5 games, and they have conceded 16 goals away from home. So I can see Chris Durkin getting a decisive in here for sure. And the fact that he's only 23 and playing already week in, week out for DC means that this guy has a lot of potential as well to come in the future.
Yeah, it's a really good price point to say he is under 23 and he's getting a lot of minutes and proving that he can hit good scores. So £4 for an under 23 with these kind of scores it's a really good price.
I think we did really well with this pick, man. I mean, because great minds think alike, as they say.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the pick of the episode, considering we've both gone for him then.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how he does now that we have both picked this guy.
Yeah, now we both picked him, he'll probably be out of the squad or something. So
yeah, as always, some Sorare nonsense.
Well, we'll move over and see who we've got as forwards. I'm gonna get my forward up now.
I think I should start up with this one because I got a very interesting pick in my opinion. I haven't gone with an MLS pick, and I have to say I didn't pick this guy myself. I asked an America expert and a friend of mine for this pick. I went with Aitor Garcia, 29-year-old, who has recently made a transfer from La Liga 2 to the Mexican League to Juarez, and he played his first game last week, where he, against America, one of the best teams in Mexico, he scored a goal and got 22.3 all around as well, which gave him a score of 82.3. And I think this guy is gonna be a monster in Mexico, from what I have heard, scoring well in his first game. Now he has a tough matchup against Tigres, but I still decided to take a little risk with him, because if I have to believe my friend, this guy will do really good again. He has a home fixture as well, so hopefully he can score another goal for his new team.
Yeah, I can't say I really know who he is, but from what you've said there, he sounds like a pretty good pickup. But I kind of tried to stay in the MLS because I just didn't know where else to go with it. I didn't really trust the other leagues, and it's quite hard to find a really good budget forward in the MLS. So I ended up going for Yaboa. He's £7.30. His L15's 50, so it's not too high. Keeps him at the point where he's still affordable, but his recent form's just been really good. His last 7 games here. He's had a 37 in there, but the rest of them are green. And he's managed to pick himself up 3 decisives in the last 7. So he's got an 83, a 70, and a 66. And it's good because he actually manages to get himself some AA, even when he's not getting decisives. Like, he's getting a 52 and a 53 just from AA alone. And like, from a forward, that's just amazing. And Columbus are scoring a lot of goals at the minute. So coming up against New York at home, it's not an easy fixture, but it's a fixture that I think Columbus like really should be looking to win, get themselves a few goals. They put 2 past Nashville while they're at home, so like Nashville are one of the better defenses in the league. They're coming up against New York again. They drew 1-1 away recently, so hopefully they get a bit of revenge and get a nice win at home, and Yeboah can get a decisive or 2.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really solid pickup because personally, when I look at strikers, I always try to look for the AA aspect next to the decisive aspect, because with Yeboah, as you just said, he can still get 50s and 60s without getting a decisive, and I think that is really, really important, especially when going for a Cap240 striker, because you just need those points from like creating chances, interceptions, attempted assists and stuff like that. So I think it's a really, really solid pickup.
Yeah, especially in cap modes, because like a 50 in cap modes is enough. Like, if every player got a 50, you're going to hit the cap. So
Exactly.
you can find a striker that doesn't bottom out at, if he doesn't get decisive, he's not going to drop a 35 instantly. He's actually got a bit more about his game. So, like, you're getting some sort of consistency there. So it's not as risky, hopefully.
It's very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. Well, we'll move over to our extras.
This was a very, very fun pick, I have to be honest, because there were loads of options, of course. So I'm really interested to see who you have got for your extra pick.
Yeah, well, I went for one, probably my favourite pick actually. I went for Douglas Costa. So he's proven like how much of an elite player he was when he was in Europe, and he's probably a bit too good for the MLS. He's only 32 still, so he's not he's not aging out. He's still got legs in him. He has been injured a little bit this season, I think, but he's also only £5. Like, if you don't have him, I would buy him. He's got 2 really good fixtures coming up. It's going to be against Philadelphia at the weekend, but he's come back from injury and played 4 games. He's had a 78, a 70, and an 80. He dropped to 30, but he came off the bench. I'm not too worried about that. But he's got 4 decisives in 4 games. Well, he's actually contributed to 4 out of LA Galaxy's last 5 goals in some way, with the goal or the assist. So he's really getting himself involved, and it's nice to see him back on the top of his game, because this price and this cap is just way lower than how good he actually is at the minute. It's going to go up pretty quick.
It's too cheap for him.
His cap and his price. Cheap. So
yeah. I think this is a really serious pick who can put me in danger in losing this game, because he had, like, those are some serious scores, man, and like as you said, we have seen him in Europe balling out with his 5-star skills and stuff. So it's gonna be really interesting. I looked at him as well for my extra pick, but I decided not to go with him because I thought he was a bit too risky, and against Philadelphia, they, like, defensively they are pretty good, even with Wagner being out. I just didn't wanna risk Douglas Costa there. And I just went with another defender to play it a bit safe. Might be a crazy shout here, but I went with Keegan Rosenberry from Colorado, who has been doing really, really well, being very consistent as well this season for a shitty Colorado team. Pretty sure Colorado haven't won in like the last 10 games, with only 2 draws in, and somehow this guy still manages to score really, really well. And the fact that his scores at home are 63.2 on average, with a decent matchup against Dallas as well. I can see this guy doing really, really well. I can see Colorado keeping a clean sheet as well against Dallas, which will get Rosenberry some extra points as well. And I can see this guy actually getting like a 70 or an 80 score this game week for sure. And he's only like £4. He's going very much under the radar, in my opinion, for the amount of scores he gets, and I think he's pretty undervalued.
Yeah, if they manage to get a clean sheet, he's going to hit a pretty big score, you'd imagine. So sounds like a pretty good pick as well.
I mean, it says a lot that he's doing like really well. Like he scored 70 against Real Salt Lake, where they conceded 3, and as a defender, that's like minus 12 points already. So the moment he gets a clean sheet, we should be flying.
Yeah, that's a crazy score. A clean sheet there would have literally been like 92 points. So
Yeah.
it's a game changer, really. Do you know how much your team was on the cap overall then?
I do. I'm pretty sure it costs 235 points, so there were 5 points spare, and the total cost I worked out as well was more or less £40. So still a little budget there on the side.
Yeah, so mine was 239 on the cap, so it's just squeezing in, and £43. So we both got like enough of the budget left to get another player. So like people out there, if you're trying to build teams, budget teams, and you want to compete, like we're just showing that you can do it with a pretty low budget, and like even have enough money left to buy other cards for depth.
To play like a semi-pro on the side
rotate.
or something, yeah.
Yeah, semi-pro is a really good option as well.
For sure, it's a solid option, and I think we are showing with all of these picks, even though we are not really like MLS experts, because I'm pretty sure neither of us really watch like every game of the MLS.
No,
but
definitely not.
with just a little bit of good scouting, you can still manage to make a great Cap240 team and just try and grind that threshold in, week out. As long as you just put in a little bit of effort, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that's everything. Make sure you guys leave a comment. Let us know which team you think is going to win, Salah's or mine. And also leave a comment of which content creator you want to see me go up against next. And Salah, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me for the first episode, mate. I think it's a really nice concept, and I will follow this series 100%.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So hope you all enjoyed, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop an answer to them 2 questions in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.
See you guys. Bye bye.